this is No Frills ASMR. We are 1 week out from the Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars. This will be the 96th Academy Awards, and they take place in Hollywood somewhere. I don't know Hollywood, but at the Dolby Theater. And they've been there for a long time, I think. So I thought I would talk about which films are nominated for Best Picture. I've seen them all, and I'll kind of rate what I think will win, and then what I would like to see win in the order. I think I'll do a separate video where I'll go into details on the films, because it could possibly have spoilers if you really don't want to know anything. So I won't do any spoilers in this one. We'll just talk about how I'd rank them. I'm not I'm just a person watching TV, films, not TV. Well, really it is kind of TV, because I only saw a few of these at the actual movie theater. My husband has some health issues, and to be inside a movie theater for a long sometimes makes him dizzy or whatever. So we tend to stream them. So they are on TV. So we'll put that caveat to begin, because that could change how you experience a film. They are meant to be seen on the big screen, but I have a pretty good sized TV. Okay, so let's start. So yeah, they're the Academy Awards, and the Academy is the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences, and they have like over 10,000 members, and they're artists and editors, lighting people, whatever. And I think my understanding is they have to be brought in. I think like 2 people have to vote and say that this person belongs as part of the Academy, and then they can be inducted into the Academy. And I think this is all a little bit, whether I'm right or not, I don't know. I think this is true. You can go Google it if you, but I think for sound design, they have a branch of the Academy that are people who deal with things like sound design. So they're the ones voting for what will win that award. And for acting, all the actors. I'm not sure what the branches are and how, is it just editors? I don't know. Voting for editing, that I don't know. But I have heard that a lot of times, there is a popularity contest sometimes that goes on, and some of the movies a lot of people haven't seen, even though they're sent screeners of the movies, I think. So that kind of thing can happen. But anyway, I have seen them. So, and Oscars, they're the Academy Awards, but the award, I should have made one. Should I get my I was going to get the, what was it I made, you guys? The Stanley Cup, or no? Anyway, and rework it into an Oscar. They get an award. That's a gold. It looks like a man. I won't be able to. I feel like it looks something like this, right? And he's kind of got broad shoulders, and he's wearing a little suit. That looks just like an Oscar. And it was one of the Oscars, I think, was sitting on the desk at the Academy Awards, and I can't remember exactly the whole story, but there was a secretary or something. She goes, "That looks like my Uncle Oscar," and so it got the nickname Oscar. And so now they call the awards the Oscars. I think that's right. Okay, let's get into it. Let me get my Sharpie. So there are 10 movies that are nominated. And I'll just write them alphabetically, I think, to begin with. So there's a movie called American Fiction. And the other night when I was like, I'm going to watch this movie, American History. I don't know why I said that. It's American Fiction. I think because there was a movie called American History X. I must have had that in my head. American Fiction, and then Anatomy. Oh, I hope I spelled things right. Of a fall. Of a fall or of the fall. Of fall. I'm pretty sure. Barbie. Should I make my eye look more official? Is it hold? Oh, I think it's the holdovers, or is it holdovers? Oh, hold on. Let me see if I have a note here. I don't. All I've written is holdovers, but it might be the holdovers. I feel like it would be. If I were naming it, I'd call it the. But anyway, the holdovers. Okay, we're gonna need a new one because this has got a long name. Killers of, is it or the, I think it's the Flower Moon. And that title speaks to how long the movie is, I think. Maestro is spelled M-A. It's a funny word, isn't it? Oof, that don't look right. Maestro, M-E-A. I hope that's right. Okay. Oppen. Am I going to be able to fit it? His name's long. He's German, so it's E-I. Oppen. Oof. Heimer. Past lives. And then we have poor. Gosh. Things. And zone of interest. That's sloppy. I want to rewrite poor things. I don't like the way I wrote that. Poor. Oof, my pen got stuck. Okay, where are my scissors? Oh, good. Gosh, I thought I brought them downstairs. I was like, no. Get rid of this one. Okay, zone of interest, poor things. Killers of the Flower Moon. Maestro. Oppenheimer. Past lives. American Fiction. Anatomy of the Fall. Barbie. The holdovers. Okay. ABC. MNOP. All right, so these are the nominees for Best Picture. So without any spoilers, I'll just tell you kind of a little basic. I should have. Okay, so American Fiction. It's basically about a man who's a professor and a novelist, and he's very intelligent, and he keeps submitting his novels to publishers, and they're basically responding to him. He is a black man, and they're saying they're not black enough. And he's like, that's not what it's about. My story isn't about that. And they say, no, they're not what we want. And then he sees like the number one bestseller is a woman who has written a very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of with full of tropes, black novel. And he sees her and realizes she's not that. So that leads him on a journey. And it's very good. I would call it it's a comedy slash drama. So that's American fiction. And it deals a lot with, how race is looked at in America. So that's what I'll say about that. Anatomy of a Fall, it's a kind of a courtroom drama about a man has fallen to his death, and his blind son finds him, and the wife, mother of the son, is being tried to decide whether she had something to do with his death, and the son is kind of put in the middle of that. That's the gist of that one. I don't think I'm spoiling anything. I think that's okay. Barbie is a movie about the Barbie doll, Mattel's Barbie doll, and she lives in a Barbie world that's just perfect. And she starts to have an existential, oh my gosh, I can't say this word, existential crisis, and starts to wonder about, dying and things that she doesn't quite understand. And she leaves the Barbie world and goes to the real world. And that's the gist of that one. Excuse me. The Holdovers is about a instructor at an all-boys high school. And over Christmas break, some of the boys can't go back home, so they stay at the high school, and he stays with them. And then it ends up basically just being one boy and him and the cook at the school. And they go on a kind of learning journey together. And that's pretty much what that one's about. Killers of the Flower Moon is the story of, I think it's I should have looked up what time period exactly. I read the book. The book's very good. I feel like it's probably the I'm going to go with the 1940s, but I'll look that up, or you can look it up. But anyway, it's, kind of old times, right? And the tribe of the Osage Nation has oil on their land, and they have rights to the mineral rights, I think, and the nation becomes very wealthy because of the oil. I think that's right. And basically, white men come in and marry the women of the Osage Nation. And some of those women end up dying in mysterious ways. And the men inherit the rights. And there's no accountability for that. And that's what that movie is about. Maestro is about Leonard Bernstein, the composer, and his marriage. And I mean, that's what it's about. I could go into more, but then that's a different show. So that's what that's about. And his experience with his wife and his troubles. He's a bit of a drinker. He does drugs, and he isn't always a great husband. And so that's really what that's about. But it's also about his wife and her journey. Oppenheimer is about the man who helped, to, I don't want to say create because that's not the word, what's the word for that? There's a chemistry word here. But anyway, he helped create the first atomic bomb. And this movie is more about the man, Oppenheimer, than the bomb. And it deals with him creating the bomb and what happens after that. Past Lives is a film about a girl from South Korea who immigrates to the United States and leaves her best friend and / very, very young went on one date boyfriend in South Korea, and they reconnect later in life, and that's its story. Poor Things is sort of a Frankenstein story, but with a female Frankenstein, kind of, and she goes out into the world and has to deal with things that women have to deal with, but she's coming from a point of view of somebody who doesn't know all the social norms. So she goes through life, learning those things. It's sort of a steampunk kind of feel to it. Zone of Interest is about, based on a true people who really existed. I gotta remember his name. When I do the further recap, I'll have it all. But Hess, I think, and his wife Hedvig, and he is the commandant, I guess you call it, of the Auschwitz camp, and they have a home right outside the gates of Auschwitz, and they are raising their family and creating an idyllic home, and you are there to watch their family at this home outside of Auschwitz. I think that doesn't spoil anything. Those are just the basics. But like I said, I will do a video probably right after this. I'll try to remind myself some basics, but where I can go into these a lot more. If you want to watch that, I'll do that probably next. But having said all that, okay. So my guess is that for the 96th Academy Awards, if I had to pick what the Academy would be picking, I feel like some of these films are a little small for what the Academy does. American Fiction, maybe Anatomy of the Fall. I think Holdovers might be considered a little not, like a big enough film for that. Past Lives would go in that, probably. Maestro. Okay. Barbie, I think, has just been, even though it was a huge moneymaker, sometimes blockbusters like that tend to get frowned upon by the Academy. And like the director was not nominated for Best Director, and that makes me think it's not going to be picked at all. Killers of the Flower Moon was directed by Martin Scorsese, or Scorsese, however you say that. But I don't think it's going to be at the top of the list. Poor Things, I don't think will be. So I believe that Oppenheimer is going to win Best Picture, based on it being a huge, just sort of one of those blockbuster type movies. It has Cillian Murphy and Matt Damon and Florence Pugh, and it's an all-star cast. It's directed by Christopher Nolan. It's a really good movie, and if it wins, I'm okay with that. Having said that, I do think there is a place where Zone of Interest could be a surprise winner of Best Picture. I think it's a really well done movie, and I just could see it. I could see it. If all the screeners see this movie, I could see this movie sneaking a win out. So I'm kind of torn, but I think I'm going to go with Oppenheimer probably winning Best Picture at the Academy Awards this year. That's my pick for what the Academy will pick. Now, I will rate these on how I would pick them. So let me think here for a minute. I would put... Okay, for me, Killers of the Flower Moon was just too long. I do like Martin Scorsese. I like pretty much anything he does. I'll watch anything. I read the book, like I said. I love De Niro and DiCaprio. Lily Gladstone was awesome. But this movie for me needed some editing. I just felt, and I know I shouldn't say that about a great director or whatever, but I was tired. Like, it was the kind of movie, I did watch it at home. I was not on the big screen. But it was kind of movie where you kind of pause it because you have to go to the bathroom. And then you see there's like, you think it's got to be almost over. You've been watching it for a long time. And then you realize there's another hour and 40 minutes. I mean, it's long. I'll have to look up the runtime, but it's long. Poor Things as well. Also, I felt like it needed some editing. I liked it. These movies I liked. I don't want to say like I didn't like. I did like them. I definitely wouldn't watch these again. There were scenes that I just thought, we need to trim this up. For me, this was just needed some editing. Poor Things. And, like, who am I to say that? I don't know, but that's how I feel. Let's see. Let me think. So that's probably my lead. These two are a toss-up over. Like I said, it's not that I did not like them, because I know I did like them. They just, as far as all these movies go, they'd be lower down on my list. So I'd put those two down there. I don't know which one, though. I don't know. Okay, next. I'm going to... See, okay, here's a tough one. Because Anatomy of a Fall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. However, I rented it on Amazon Prime, and I don't know why, but the subtitles, is that what you call them? Yeah, because it's in French, mostly. American and English and French, but mostly, I said American. English and French. But most of the courtroom is in French. And anyway. And the subtitles were way off. So by the time I'm reading what they're saying, it's moved on. So it was really, really hard. And there was no way to fix it. I tried everything. So that is my caveat to this movie and my opinion about it. I think I didn't get the best viewing of it. But I'm going to go with... Okay, let me look here real quick. Okay. I think I'm going to put Maestro here. I enjoyed Maestro. And I'll go into it more. I don't have any real complaints about it. I enjoyed it, but it wouldn't be in my top. Okay. I think next I would put Barbie. I really liked Barbie. I laughed, I cried, I enjoyed it. I think especially young women and mothers are going to really enjoy it. And so I definitely put it there. Okay, Anatomy of a Fall I'm going to put here. Like I said, I don't think I had the best viewing experience. I very much liked it. Okay. I think next is Past Lives. I really enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot. I highly recommend it. It is in mostly, well, it's probably half English, half Korean. But very, not even a but, I don't know why I said, and very, very good. Yeah, I cried at the end of this movie, but like, not like sad, not like something horrible happened, but that kind of like emotional, just, that's good. Okay, I think next I'm going to go with, oh, shoot, Oppenheimer. I can't believe I'm doing this. Let me think. When I saw Oppenheimer, I walked out of there going, that was great. But now that I've seen these other movies, Oppenheimer's a little long. And the second half can be a little long. Like, I don't know if it's streaming right now, but I don't know that I'd want to sit through it again. I don't think I want to sit through it again. So I think I'm putting it there. I might switch these. Okay, The Holdovers. I really like The Holdovers. Paul Giamatti is great. Yeah. If you want to see just like, it's sort of like a 1990s, very much reminds me of like Dead Poet Society, or one of those. What's the one? The Matt Damon one. Ben Affleck's first movie. I don't know. It sort of has that sort of feel to it, and it was very enjoyable. I liked it. American Fiction. I loved this movie. I just thought it was funny and smart and a good watch. But my number one is Zone of Interest. I just thought it was excellent. The sound design, the directing, editing. There were some things in it that were kind of new, the way they handled some things as far as directing goes. I just thought it was sort of brilliant. I very much enjoyed Zone of Interest. Honestly, a lot of these, if you talked to me about it, I'd probably switch them around. Like, I saw Oppenheimer and Barbie on Barbieheimer weekend, and that was in June. So it's been a long time. I don't know. Oppenheimer's good though. See, some of these movies that are like very small, like, and I don't mean small in a bad way. I mean like they're the story of two people and their lives and their discussions, like past lives and the holdovers. And it's hard to say, oh, this is a more enjoyable movie than this major production that's about a major world issue. It's hard for me to say that. But if I were picking movies that I might watch again, I think I'd go with like these three, even though they're much smaller. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with it. So I think I'd go Zone of Interest, American Fiction, The Holdovers, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall. This is good. I don't know. Oppenheimer, Barbie, Maestro, Killer of the Flowers Moon, Killer of, I'm putting Poor Things, and then Killer of the Flower of a Flower Moon. I gotta look that up. Flower Moon. That's my listing. But like I said, I do believe that the Academy will probably pick Oppenheimer. And I'm not mad at that if they do. Am I putting this too high? Should Oppenheimer go here? But I know when I walked out of Oppenheimer, part of me liked Barbie better because I saw those both. It's so hard, you guys. The truth is, I can't rate movies because I just enjoy watching all different kinds of movies. So to try to like rank them, how do you do that? Because there are so many good ones. Anyway, okay, there it is. Zone of Interest. Go see it. All right, so I will try to now stop this and kind of do a rundown. Maybe I'll do them in, because it depends on how much I have to say. I might do like 3 at a time or 4, whatever. I don't know. But then if I put those out over the next few days, I may be accused of doing too much of the same stuff every day. Oh, well. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think? How would you rank them? Has anybody else seen all of these? Have thoughts?